Hey folks, welcome to Shooting Up North. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're watching for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on Twitter at Shooting Up North, Instagram at Alliance PW Network, and feel free to join our Facebook group, the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And don't forget, if you're enjoying the content and you want to support the podcast in a very inexpensive way, consider leaving a super thanks comment. You could do that on under every video. You'll see a couple of icons. Click on the thanks icon, and you could purchase a super thanks comment as well. I think they start as low as $2. All money goes back into the podcast, of course, and you get a fun animation with the purchase of a super thanks, and you have a colorful, customizable comment that you can leave as well for that video. And of course, you'll get a shout out on the very next pre-recorded podcast from me, and there'll be a credit page at the end of the podcast giving you thanks as well. Alrighty, so let's get into it. This is Impact Wrestling news, notes, and opinions for August 24th, 2022. Let's get into it. We have an MLW versus Impact Wrestling title match coming up. The MLW Women's Featherweight Champion, Taya Valkyrie, will be defending the MLW Featherweight Championship against Impact Wrestling's Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green, the current Impact Wrestling Knockouts Tag Team Champions, in a triple threat match at the Wrestling Showcase event, which takes place. Does it indicate here when it takes place? September 3rd in Illinois. So let me read this here. Taya Valkyrie will defend the MLW Women's Featherweight Championship at the Wrestling Showcase, as announced on Busted Open Radio. Valkyrie will put the title on the line against Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green. The challengers are the reigning Impact Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, as I've already just stated. They defeated Valkyrie and Rosemary to win the gold at Impact Wrestling Emergence. The three women often compete on Impact programming, but they remain active throughout the wrestling world. So once again, Taya Valkyrie defending the MLW Women's Featherweight Championship against Deonna Purrazzo, Chelsea Green, triple threat match at the Wrestling Showcase. So here's my thing. Here's my thing. Seems like, with the exception of Davey Richard at Slammiversary and Sami Callihan showing up at Battle Riot, it was just that must have been just a little trade off there. Seems like all the MLW versus Impact Wrestling matches are happening in neutral promotions. So we had Josh Alexander defend the Impact Wrestling World title against Jacob Fatu at Ric Flair's last match. And now at the Wrestling Showcase, we're having the MLW Women's Champion, Taya Valkyrie, defending that title against Impact's Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green. So why are they happening on neutral promotions? Why aren't they happening like in Impact Wrestling? Why isn't it happening in MLW? Yes, MLW is on a hiatus right now, and they'll be back with the new season soon. But I don't, are they just trying to gauge interest for Impact versus MLW matches? I think the interest is there. I think when we saw Josh Alexander against Jacob Fatu, we saw the interest was there. We saw the crowd was really into it. Even at wrestling, at West Coast Pro, where Jacob Fatu took on X Division champion Mike Bailey. It was a West Coast Pro Heavyweight Championship match, but it was still MLW versus Impact Wrestling. That's how you can look at it. That was a terrific match. It was just about a 5-star match. I think Mike Bailey called it a 5-star match himself. It was just an absolutely fantastic match. The interest is there, and now they're going to be at the Wrestling Showcase, another neutral event. And we're going to get MLW versus Impact Wrestling at the Wrestling Showcase. Now, this one isn't as exciting as when they announced Josh Alexander versus Jacob Fatu, or Jacob Fatu versus Speedball Mike Bailey, because we've seen Taya Valkyrie wrestle Chelsea Green and Deonna Purrazzo already in the past, so it's not really exciting, but still, the MLW Women's Championship is on the line in this one. It's being put up against Impact Wrestling talent, so more Impact versus MLW. Again, I don't know if they're trying to gauge interest. Not sure why this match couldn't have been saved for like Victory Road, something like that. She puts up the MLW Women's Featherweight Championship at Victory Road, or maybe even like at Bound for. Well, it can still happen. It can still happen. Well, this is actually September 3rd, so this is happening after Actually, what is I'm not sure when Victory actually it's before Victory Road. I'm sorry. So it still could happen at Victory Road. But it just seems like they're saving it there. They're doing the matches on neutral promotions. Hopefully we're gonna get some more MLW Impact Wrestling interaction in MLW and in Impact Wrestling. Like I'd love to see I'd love to see David Richards show up with the openweight title in Impact Wrestling and just have an open challenge against, lay down an open challenge. Any Impact Wrestling wrestler wants a shot. Let them come down and challenge David Richards. On the flip side of that, I would love to see like Mike Bailey heading over. He's got the open challenge going. Head over to MLW and challenge. Got to put my. I didn't turn the plug on. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm not going to start recording again. I was almost lost power there, but I had to turn the plug on. But now Mike Bailey has the open challenge. Still got the I'm still in the tail on this cold, but I'm giving you the Impact Wrestling news, notes, and opinions. Yeah. But yeah, Mike Bailey has the open challenge for the X Division Championship. Let him head over to MLW at Fightland. Let him have an open challenge and defend it against like Myron Reed. That would be just amazing. Or like a Aramis or a Rez would be just fantastic. Just fantastic. So there's a lot of possibilities there, but it's good that we're seeing more MLW versus Impact Wrestling matches. Just like I said, I think it's time. I think the interest is there. It's just let's get them out of the neutral promotions. Let's put them in MLW and Impact Wrestling. So that's my thought on that. That's my thought on that. Um, so Impact on AXS TV tomorrow. Actually, here are all the matches that are going to be taking place tomorrow. I know they've been adding matches all week. So tomorrow it's going to be Violent by Design against Time Machine. We know that match is going to happen. Chris Sabin, Kushida, and Alex Shelley. Then we have Vexed against Mia Yim and Jordan Grace. Vexed, Deanna Prazo, Chelsea Green. They are the Impact Wrestling Knockouts champions, as I mentioned earlier. They're putting the titles on the line against Mia Yim and Jordan Grace. I think something's going to happen between Yim and Grace, but we'll see what happens there. Josh Alexander in a non-title match against Vincent, which should be a fairly easy win for Josh Alexander. Then we have Carl Anderson against Mike Bennett. If Carl Anderson wins, and Maria Kanellis is banned from the tag team title match, banned from ringside during the tag team title match that's coming up this weekend at Lone Star Stampede. The debut of Jessica, okay, and then we have this one's interesting. Bhupinder Gujar against a gut check winner Jason Hotch. So we're going to see Jason Hotch. I think this is the first time he's going to actually be on Impact. I think he was on BTI before, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but it's the first time we're going to be seeing Jason Hotch. Is this going to be a squash match for Gujar? Is he just run right over Hotch, or are we going to get some? Are we going to see what Hotch can actually do in the ring? So this one I'm very interested in seeing. It's they call him Impact Wrestling newcomer. Jason Hotch. So we'll see. We'll see how Jason Hotch looks. I just hope there's a match and it's just not like Brian Myers comes out and interferes and attacks Gujar and there's no match. I want to see what Jason Hotch could do in an Impact Wrestling ring. So this actually, out of all the matches, to be honest, this match is going to have This match is going to have most of my attention. Most of my attention is going into this one because I'm very curious to see how Jason Hotch fares in an Impact Wrestling ring. And again, I hope it's not a squash match. I hope it's, Gujar's not attacked coming down to the ring and there's no match. I really want to see what Jason Hotch brings to Impact Wrestling. So I'm excited about this one tomorrow. Also on BTI, I don't know why they're doing this one. This one makes like no sense on BTI. Ace Austin, Hikuleo, Bullet Club against Johnny Swinger and Zicky Dice. Okay. So it's going to get the comedy from Zicky Dice, Johnny Swinger, and Hikuleo is probably going to just destroy the Dice or Swinger and get the easy win. So Bullet Club wins that one. And also on the Ultimate Insiders match. I have to watch that and do my review. It's actually Matt Fitchett defending the AAW World Championship against One Called Manders. So I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to put my review up probably tomorrow on that one. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I heard it was a good match. But my thing is, though, they said it was an Impact Wrestling tryout match. So I don't know if well, I gotta watch the match. I gotta watch the match. I don't know if we'll see if anybody is given any contract or anything. I'm sure they would have announced it on Fight TV, but I'm sorry, on Fightful. But watch the match first before I criticize anything. Okay, so we'll do that tomorrow. All right, so actually Brian Hebner actually now this was from a few days ago. He actually mentioned on Roughing It Up with Brian Myers, his podcast, his terrific podcast. Him and RJ do a fantastic job. Brian Hebner and RJ. Me and RJ go way back, and I just wanna say RJ is doing a fantastic job with his podcast with Brian Hebner. If you haven't listened to the podcast yet, I highly recommend it. Roughing It Up with Brian Hebner. But actually, he thinks that Impact Wrestling needs to be on a bigger network than AXS to grow. And he said that while before he left, that they were shopping around for other networks to put Impact Wrestling on. But he did say something here that I thought was very interesting. That really wasn't talked about much, but I'm going to talk about it here. He said. If AEW is as close to WWE as Impact could be as close to AEW in the same form, I think we're talking totally differently at this point right now. And this conversation about Impact Wrestling getting on another channel is not even brought up. So that's an excellent point. So that's something for Impact Wrestling to shoot for, to get as close to AEW as AEW is as close to WWE. So Impact Wrestling needs to get on another network. I think we're all in agreement there. Everyone makes the argument, well, they're not going anywhere because Anthem owns AXS TV and they own Impact Wrestling, so Impact Wrestling is going to be on AXS TV. But as Brian Hebner said, Impact Wrestling has been shopping around, looking for a new network, and he still feels that they're shopping around for a new network. So I believe they are. I believe Brian Hebner when he says that. And I really do hope they get onto another network, because if they get onto a network with a wider reach, because once people start watching Impact Wrestling, there's a lot of people out there knocking Impact Wrestling right now, saying, "Oh, wow, Impact Wrestling is garbage, and why do you still watch Impact Wrestling?" And 99.9% of the time, people say that they don't even watch Impact Wrestling. They're still going, they still harping on the fact, "Oh, you let AJ Styles go. How could you let that happen?" They're still way back there, right? They haven't they haven't fast forwarded to the present. They're still in the past. So, but yeah, so I think they should get to a new network, and I know a lot of people are in agreement with that. And I think if they get to a new network, as I said, once people start watching Impact Wrestling, they're gonna want to watch it every single week, because Impact Wrestling just delivers every single week. I mean, last week's episode, Chris Bay challenging Mike Bailey for the X Division Championship. That match was just freaking fantastic. Fantastic. And the main event, the six-way match, was just terrific. The opening match, the Fatal Four-Way match, the Lucha Libre match, that was just amazing. So people start watching Impact Wrestling, these people that say, "Oh, Impact Wrestling is garbage." Yeah, I'm going to do an impression here. This is the scenario. Impact Wrestling haters. "Oh, Impact Wrestling is garbage. Nobody watches Impact Wrestling anymore. Well, look, it's on a new network. I'm going to watch this garbage. See what it's." Hey, wait a minute. This is pretty good. This is pretty good stuff. I'm going to leave this on. I'm going to run up. I'm gonna run upstairs and make a fish stick sandwich and come right back down. Herbert Dorsey, that's for you, man. I'm gonna run upstairs and make a fish stick sandwich and have some. Gonna grab a juice box and I'm gonna run back down. I'm gonna run back and I'm gonna watch the rest of this episode. This is great stuff. Then they'll be on social media. Man, Impact Wrestling delivers. Impact Wrestling's the real deal. Don't miss it. You know, that's what would happen to people who say Impact Wrestling is garbage, that don't watch Impact Wrestling, that start watching it, start watching it. You know, that's what. Hey, this Josh Alexander's pretty good. You know, wow, Speedball Mike Bailey, man, how come I never heard of this guy? How come I don't know about him? Trey Miguel is off the charts. Wow, Deanna Praza, one of the best women wrestlers in the world. Gee whiz, wow, Impact Wrestling's awesome. You know, Impact Wrestling is awesome. Hashtag fish stick sandwiches for everybody. See, that's what would happen. That's exactly what would happen. And if they could get the numbers up, if they're on a new network and more people start watching, and they will start watching, you know, because even you got the Fightful podcasts, Denise Salcedo, I believe her name was, and she's talking about how great Impact Wrestling is. They just don't have enough eyes on the product, right? And she's very smart. She's a very smart lady. She's said Impact Wrestling is just knocking it out of the park. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know what she said word for word, but it's something along the lines of Impact Wrestling knocking it out of the park. They're great. Every week they deliver. They just got to get more eyes on the product, and she's right on that. And Brian Hebner is right, and they need to get to a new network. And again, you could use AXS TV as a network to fall back on in case it doesn't work out. So if they get to a network with a wider reach, the broader reach, and they reach more people, and they get like 350, 400, 450,000 viewers every week, and they get as close to AEW as AEW is as close to WWE, man, it's a whole new ball game. It's a whole new ball game. More people might want to. You might entice some more talent to come over to Impact Wrestling that way. You'll be in bigger venues as well, and it just it's nothing but positive. I mean, nothing but a positive move for Impact Wrestling, for them to try and get to a bigger channel. And as per Brian Hebner, they're still trying. They're still trying to, and I would be surprised if we don't see them on a new network. And even Gail Kim, when she was interviewed, saying that I forgot word for word, but she was alluding to the fact that there's going to be some big changes. You know, the new face of Impact Wrestling. I initially thought it was talent, but people said it could be a new channel, or there could be something along those lines. But we'll see. She's been hinting about it. Brian Hebner's talking about it here. So I think something big's about to happen. They just re-signed the huge deal in India for to keep Impact Wrestling on India TV. I forgot the name of the network. I think is it Sony? But it was a big deal anyway in India, and I think they're going to get to another network because again, they deliver each and every week. Each and every week, their Impact Plus events, the YouTube Ultimate Insider events, every single one delivers from start to finish, and it's the best wrestling company, in my opinion, out there right now. Impact Wrestling, nothing can really compare. The talent that Impact Wrestling has right now is just amazing. Is just amazing, and like I said, more eyes get on the product, more eyes are going to be watching it, and we're going to get like I said, you know, Mr. Impact hater is going to turn into Mr. Impact lover, and he's going to be so happy. He's going to celebrate with fish stick sandwiches for everybody. Fish stick sandwiches all around. You know, everybody's going to go to his neighbor. Hey, yeah. Impact Wrestling is awesome. Here's a fish stick sandwich. I'm handing them out. I'm going around the neighborhood. I'm handing out fish stick sandwiches to everybody. So yeah, so like I said, Mr. Impact Wrestling hater will become Impact Wrestling lover. And we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll see if anything happens. Like I said, I would love for them to get into a bigger channel, and I think I have a feeling it's going to happen. I have a feeling it's going to happen, and we will see. We will see. All right, so that's it for me. That's it for me. So we'll leave it at that. This is Impact Wrestling news, notes, and opinions for August 24th, 2022. I am Lewis Carlin, and until next time, thank you very much, and stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye bye.